This photo of a drunken mountain gorilla was captured seconds before the photographer was punched in the face. Primate photography enthusiast Professor Jelly here, and this is gonna be the worst field trip of all time. French photographer Christophe Courteau was in the Volcanoes National Park in Rwanda, snapping some sick shots of the Quitanda mountain gorilla family, particularly of the male alpha of the group, when out of nowhere, the gorilla began to charge. Unlike most other types of gorillas, which only have one male living in an entire group, mountain gorillas, like this big fella, often have several males living within the family, with the baddest dude serving as the alpha of a pack, a role that requires the gorilla in question to oftentimes get physical. At the time of the incident, Courteau was on his knees trying to get a steady shot, when out of nowhere, his subject began to charge at him. And with no time to do anything else, Courteau snapped what would surely be his last photo. And this is one mad gorilla! You can see it in his face! He knows he's about to send this poor guy to the shadow realm. Christophe later said, in less than a second he was on me and strongly hit me like a rugby player. With the shock, I felt all of his power and weight on my body. It was like being hit by a train. We actually are lucky enough to have an alternative angle of the incident, showing Christophe's orientation change from portrait to landscape. So how did this happen? Usually in the presence of tourists, gorillas are timid to the point of boredom. Well, Chris had a hypothesis. The gorilla was drunk. Some may say, drunk as a monkey. Animal drunkenness, if you don't know, is actually a well-documented phenomenon where animals will usually eat something like overripe fruit and get absolutely plastered drunk. And in the rainy season, when Christophe was taking these photos, mountain gorillas will move to the mountains and get absolutely wasted on bamboo shoots. Or do they? According to Joanna Lambert, a professor of biological anthropology at the University of Texas, it's much more like the kid who ate 30 Jolly Ranchers and is now running away from the janitors on top of the roof of the school, and that it was a sugar high, not drunkenness. Joanna stated that a gorilla's stomach is a lot like a human's in that it can't naturally ferment its own alcohol, and that unlike overripe fruit, which already has the fermenting bacteria already on it, the bamboo shoots would not be alcoholic at all. So there's no way that just eating bamboo would cause the gorillas to be drunk, but it would cause a huge sugar rush. Either way, drunk or tweaking on glucose, Christophe said that he actually wasn't even the main target of the gorilla. He did not care about me and pushed me out of the way with his left hand like I was not there. Then he dashed through the vegetation to chase away a black-backed male behind us who looked to be interested in one of his females. And despite being on the receiving end of a King Kong Fu haymaker, Christophe was actually not seriously injured. He actually only ended up with a small scar on his forehead, which puts him into a very select group of people who have ever gotten in a fight with a silverback gorilla and lived. I guess that if he ever wrote a book about his experiences, it would be called The Apes of Wrath. This has been Professor Jelly. If you like this video and you want to see more like it, make sure to subscribe.